Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your entrepreneurship tutor, Professor Henry Bwiza of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kenya. Today, I want to pose this question. How can we use SWOT in starting up our businesses? And I'm saying, ask SWOT to tell you how to start your business. Yes, SWOT. As you can see, SWOT is an acronym. The S is strengths, the W is weaknesses, the O is opportunities, and the T are threats. So every organization, every business, every individual, when you have an objective to achieve, you are faced with those elements. So SWOT, strengths, how strong are you? Weightlifting. Weaknesses, how weak are you? Opportunities, wow. Is there anything to achieve? Threats, what stops us? So, strengths in whatever you want to do, weaknesses in whatever you want to do, opportunities to grab in whatever you want to do, and threats that might stop you. Now, we're talking of business. So, how to conduct a SWOT analysis for your small business? Strengths. What do you do well? What are you good at? Think about that. Weaknesses. Where do you need to improve? Think of that. Opportunities. What are your goals? What do you want to achieve? And what is out there to assist you to achieve? And the threats, what might stop you from achieving? So, the primary and the traditional goal of SWOT analysis is to objectively review important factors relevant to the strategic direction of an organization. It increases awareness of the factors that go into making a business decision or establishing a business strategy. But today, SWOT analysis has gone further, and it can be used to lay down now concrete implementable strategies of an organization. And where an organization also means an individual person. Now, I captured this SWOT analysis in the strategic plan of the Commission for University Education 2019-2023. You can see this is the traditional approach to SWOT. Just list the strengths, list the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. In other words, be aware of those. Those may come your way in the process of strategic planning or doing whatever you want to do. But now the question becomes, how, for example, can we deal with weaknesses? Yes, you have established the weaknesses. How do you deal with them? You just get aware about them. You have established opportunities. How can you tap them? How can you benefit from them? You have established threats. How do you cope with them? And you have your strengths. How best can you use them? Now, in this format, which was the traditional way of looking at thought of SWOT, you are aware, but as a guide to guide you ahead, it has shortcomings. Then there is an ILO Generate Your Business Idea Manual. ILO uses the SWOT analysis approach to decide the most suitable business idea. Once SWOT has been identified, a matching of strengths and opportunities is undertaken to ascertain the advantage they give to the business idea. The weaknesses and the threats are matched to determine improvements required to improve weaknesses to cope with the threats. Strong weaknesses and the strong threats may reach the decision of not picking up that business. So it's ILO goes a little further and uses the SWOT to guide it, not just to get aware. You can see. Now, I got an example from the ILO Generate Your Business Idea Manual, where Mothoni does SWOT analysis for 3 businesses and then settled on one, a second-hand clothes store. And there it is. Mothoni does all these SWOT analysis, identifies her strength in going into clothing, second-hand clothing, like work experience in clothing stores, her love for fashion. She can recognize good quality clothing, enjoys meeting people, and having good, making attractive displays. She also recognizes she doesn't have available spot in the business. She has to hire the premises, for example. She doesn't have many sources of cheap second-hand clothing. She has no experience managing staff. She has no experience in controlling stock. She objectively identifies all these as weaknesses. So as she goes into business, she's aware that she has those weaknesses, she has those strengths. She also identifies opportunities out there. There is no other second-hand shop in town. It means the competition is low. New clothes are expensive, and there are not many with good designs. There is a huge customer base among students and lower middle classes. Majority of the local people do not have a lot of cash to spare in one go. They have to buy cheaply one at a go. People tend to save money on clothes when they have less money to spare. You see? And there is a growing trend of recycling to be environmentally friendly. So these are opportunities that do not necessarily depend on Mothoni, but they are out there for grabbing. She has done well to identify them. But she also knows there are threats. People tend to use their clothes longer in this type of economy, and they do not throw them away. So one buys a shirt and uses it for long. So a repeat visit to her shop is not envisaged. The business is easily copied. Therefore, it can attract a lot of competition. The cost renting the shop space is high. Rentals are high. Those are threats that might stop her going into business. So once Mothoni identifies strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, then she identifies that she has certain advantages in relation to the business that she has now taken. Remember, Mothoni had 3 or 4 business ideas, and she did this kind of SWOT analysis for each of them. And then she found that this second-hand clothing is more suitable because it has advantages. She said, I'm capable of choosing second clothes that meet the requirements coming from her strength. She has all these advantages. I'm good at fashion and at decorating and so on and so forth. Then she also knows that she has disadvantages. So she goes into this business knowing all the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. She also knows her advantages and disadvantages. So she goes in the business prepared. But today, business consultants use SWOT analysis to also guide their clients on how to start their businesses. Therefore, Mothoni can also use her SWOT analysis to determine how to start her business. So, there is therefore another view of presenting and merging the elements of SWOT. Remember the first one, the Commission of University Education one, was the traditional one, just listing them. The ILO came up and even went further to identify advantages and disadvantages. Now, today, the SWOT analysis is presented in a 3x3 matrix. The strengths that Mothoni identified are slotted into this second box on the row and on the column, the top. The strengths, these are the internal positive conditions that contribute towards a goal achievement. They depend on personal efforts, therefore they are subjective. Weaknesses are the internal negative conditions that will block goal achievement. They depend on personal efforts and still are subjective because you can manipulate them, an individual can manipulate them. Then you come to opportunities. These are the external positive conditions that can be tapped by the individual to achieve goals. They are out there, they are objective, they don't depend on you. Threats, these are external negative conditions that may block a goal achievement efforts of an individual. They are again objective. So once we have the internal strengths and weaknesses and external opportunities and threats, we now start matching them. We match them to see what can we do or what does it tell us or what strategies can we achieve. For example, when you take the strengths and match them with opportunities, you are developing maxi strategies. Like, how can an individual maximize use of his or her strength, maximize use of the strength to tap opportunities to the maximum? It is like plucking the low-hanging fruits. This is offensive strategies. The intersection, the matching of strengths and opportunities bring you offensive max strategies. How can I use strength to the maximum to tap opportunity to the maximum? That's what they're called maxi. Weaknesses and opportunities, mini maxi strategies. We want to minimize the weaknesses so that we are able to tap opportunities to the maximum. Like, how can an individual minimize his or her weaknesses in order to tap opportunities to the maximum? These are called adjustment strategies. What can you adjust? What can you change? What can you improve in matters of business weaknesses so that you are able to utilize the opportunities? Then maximini, they are threats, but you have strength. How can you use your strength to the maximum so that you minimize the threats? Maximini. How can an individual use his or her strength and even opportunities to the maximum to minimize the threats? How can he or she defend himself from the threats? So these are actually defensive strategies. You want to defend yourself against the threats. And finally, there's the mini strategies. How can an individual minimize both the weaknesses and the threats in order to survive? These are survival strategies now. So this is like a value added on SWOT analysis. And now let's go back to the Mothoni case. Mothoni said, strengths. I have some work experience in clothing stores. I love fashion. I can recognize good quality clothing. I enjoy meeting people, and I'm good at making attractive displays. These are strengths. I've just lifted them from the ILO manual. The weaknesses Mothoni had: I don't have available spot for business. I must rent a shop. I do not have many sources of cheap second-hand clothing. I have no experience managing staff. I have no experience controlling stocks. These weaknesses can actually hamper Mothoni's success, so they must be dealt with. It's not enough. It's not just enough to know about them, but also how do we deal with them? Opportunities. There's no other second-hand shop. Expensive or poor designs of new clothes, so people not go for them. New clothes are expensive. They have poor designs. Huge customer base. Inability to spend highly at a go. Saving to buy clothes habit, and the high recycling trend. These are opportunities that Mothoni can now utilize. And the threats: infrequent clothes buying habit, ease of business replicability, high premises rentals, and high theft trends. So now, Mothoni should now start thinking, what does matching my strengths and opportunities tell me about this business? If I match these strengths and these opportunities, what does that tell me? Which maxi or offensive approach can I embark on? Which are the low-hanging fruits that I can pluck? Now, Mothoni, when he thinks about weaknesses and opportunities, what does matching my weaknesses and opportunities tell me about this business? I've chosen the business, all right, but my weaknesses matched against opportunities, what does it tell me? Should I anything to adjust? Is there anything for me to adjust? Then strengths and threats. What does matching my strengths and threats tell me about this business? I'm going into it, all right, but what does that tell me? Maxi, mini, or a defensive approach. And finally, Mothoni thinks, what does matching my weaknesses with threats, tell me about the business? How can I survive with all these weaknesses and with all these threats? How can I survive? So now, we can now do the matching. This is SWOT analysis business idea, second-hand clothes. That's Mothoni's second-hand clothes. The strengths are there. We have already gone through them. The weaknesses are there. Opportunities are there. And threats, not rates, but actually threats. Threats are there. Now, Mothoni should start now matching them. Let's go there. She's matching strengths and opportunities, like strength 1 to 5, all these. Add on opportunity 1 to 3, opportunity 1, 2, 3, and even weakness 1. I do not have an available spot. Threat 1, people don't buy frequently, but yes, I have all these strengths. And so the direction should be, start the business from home. You have all these strengths, you can reach people, you love fashion. Invest in word of mouth advertisement. Try mobile hawking too. So don't wait until you solve the weakness of a shop. Start, and as you start, the business might generate money to control or to tackle that weakness. After all, the opportunities are many. So you can start at home. Mothoni is advised to start at home, going that business from home, and then grow gradually. How about the weaknesses? Weakness 2, I do not have many sources of cheap second-hand clothes, but still, the strengths are high. She has some experience in working. She loved fashion. And then again, opportunities 1 to 3, no other second-hand shop. So invest in networking. Network with people. After all, you enjoy meeting people. So network with people. Keep asking them. Window shop, we get ideas. Ask someone in your networks for a short-term partnership. You can start on a partnership because you have no experience in managing staff. You have no experience in controlling stock. Get from your network someone you can partner with, and you'll be learning on the job. The managing staff, the experience controlling. Some people want to go for training first, but this is also like a strategy. And then the threats and the strength. Please, this is threats, not traits. Strength number 3 to 5, strength. I can recognize good quality clothing. I enjoy meeting people. I am good at making attractive this place. And then threat number 1 to 2, people buy infrequently, and the business can easily be replicated, but therefore competition can come in. So keep contacts of buyers and keep informing them. Keep changing quality and the displays. You see, you are good at fashion and all that. You know, customer relations. One person buys, you keep the contact, maybe you have a WhatsApp or social media, and keep informing them, because if they don't buy frequently, but you keep informing them of the new arrivals, they will come and uh, your business will continue. You would have fought the threat of infrequent buying habits. You know, this place, so displaying your wares matters a lot. Where you display it is, take for example a bookshop. You walk into a bookshop this week, you see children's books are on the left, adults books are on the right, and maybe textbooks are on the front. You go there the next week, you find they have changed and the place looks like new. You think it is, you're tempted to think it's new. So just changing this place alone, because you know how to display, will will solve or help to solve the threats here. You know, T4, threat 4 is missing here. You know, explore business insurance. Business insurance, because today we have insurance can insure business, and therefore the theft, the threat 5 that is we saw, threat 4, which was high theft, can be managed by insurance. And then weakness number 1 to 4, all the weaknesses here, and the threats 3 to 4, high premises rent and theft. Consider venturing into partnership or joint venture. So the SWOT analysis of Mothoni has helped her to see or to decide on how to enter into that business. The weaknesses are strong, the threats are strong, but should we give up, or should we develop strategies of entering and slowly growing? So this is how SWOT analysis can help someone actually start. Which best way can they start a business? Subscribe to my YouTube channel to be alerted of topics in entrepreneurship and related subjects. Meanwhile, share this one and please leave a comment. Thank you for listening. Have a SWOTful day, won't you?